Hello and welcome to another episode of Historically Marked, Route 66 edition. I am in Williams, Arizona, which bills itself the gateway to the Grand Canyon. This is a very popular Route 66 stop for many people. In fact, one of my favorite YouTube channels, Route 66 Party Guide, he highly recommends this. I'll give this guy a shout out, Insane Sam. He loves the party atmosphere of this town, and but I'm not here to party. I mean, because there's a couple great bars here, but I'm here to explore. So, but behind me is the visitor center, and there's a gift shop and a museum. Definitely check it out if you want to know the history about all things Williams. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of explore around this town a little bit, but first I'll show you a marker for starters. Again, this is the visitor information center, and yeah, it just snowed here. So here is welcome to Williams, Arizona, located in the heart of the Kaibab National Forest at an elevation of 6,770 feet. Founded in 1881, Williams was named for the famous trapper, scout, and mountain man Old Bill Williams. A statue of Old Bill stands in Monument Park, located on the west side of the city. The large mountain directly south of town is named Bill Williams Mountain, and the town was incorporated in 1901. Also known as the gateway to the Grand Canyon, Williams was the last town on historic Route 66 to be bypassed by Interstate 40 on October 13th, 1984. The community continues to thrive on tourism. And here's a cool photo of what it was like on the 4th of July in 1909. Many people on the streets. I don't see any cars, so I see a lot of horses and buggies. But yes, that is true. This is the last town on historic Route 66 to be bypassed by Interstate 40. There's a stoplight just outside this building, and it was the last one, you know, to get into town. And the actual stoplight is available to be viewed in this building. So yeah, I mean, it's really nice scenery. There's mountains everywhere, trees. There's the Amtrak station, Grand Canyon Railroad. Before October 13th, 1984, the only way to get to Flagstaff from here, which is Flagstaff's about 30 miles east of here, was Route 66. Well, Interstate 40 changed all that, as it did with most towns. So join me in my discovery. Here we go. So now I'm going to go into this, I guess it's a caboose, this train car. They welcome visitors. This is part of a park. It's interesting, you know, I'm not really much of a railroad enthusiast. Maybe sometime down the road. Now over here is a craft brewing company, Barrel Bottle. But it was once known as the Cabinet Saloon, built in 1893, part of Saloon Row. Not surprisingly, a lot of railroaders, cowboys, loggers, and rowdy local residents came to spend their paychecks in saloons, gambling houses, opium dens, and houses of ill repute. Excellent. Here's another historic bar. Or actually, it's a restaurant. It's the Grand Canyon Cafe. It's the Red Garter. I believe Insane Sam did say something about this. Oh, it was a bordello too. 1897. It boasted a 2-story outhouse, whiskey, pool tables, and poker games as entertainment on the ground floor, as did the Chinese restaurant and opium den located at the back of the building. Oh my gosh. So it says here, 1901 and 1903 fires devastated Saloon Row. So I found another kiosk. This one's focused on Route 66. And as I was saying earlier, yes, October 13th, 1984 was when this was the last town to be bypassed by 40. Now, June 27th, 1985 was when the Federal Highway Administration decommissioned Route 66. And that kind of spelled a lot of problems for this town. But let's take a look how it was back in the day, in the heyday. 1936, stuck in snow. The Sultana movie theater, just downtown Williams in 1940. This is Rod's Steakhouse, popular eatery. However, I just saw a sign that says it's for sale. But this place dates back to 1946, and I really hope it definitely gets a new life with the same vibe, and hopefully I'll get a chance to eat here in the future. Route 66, baby. That's right. Not surprisingly, there are a lot of classic hotels and motels here, some that are still operating, and this is definitely not an exception. This is the El Rancho Motel, not to be confused with the one that was in Gallup, New Mexico. I don't even know if there was any famous people that stayed here, not that it matters, but I thought this one was worth pointing out. Alright, so supposedly this is the place that is mostly hip and happening. The world famous Sultana bar. I'm not going inside, but I'm going to go ahead and check out the historical marker here. Alright, so the world famous Sultana. Constructed a formed concrete block in 1912, the saloon and billiard hall include a buffet for the townspeople who used it as a gathering place. Named for the famous Sultana Ruby of India. During Prohibition, the basement speakeasy provided bootleg liquor and gambling by invitation only. Huh. Alright, I mean, this is a cool thing about the small town charm stuff. And by the way, yeah, when you're going through Williams, there's going to be one-way streets going different directions. So, it is called the Williams Loop. Here's another historical marker here. The Sultana Theater. Okay, this I had not heard of. This entertainment center opened in 1912 and boasted a theater and room for dances and other events. Featured silent movies until 1930, when the first talkies in northern Arizona were shown. Drawing notable visitors like Will Rogers, the attached offices housed town hall for 40 years. So silent movies pretty much stopped in 1927, so sounds like Williams was a little late to the party. But the place looks to be a tattoo parlor now. I mean, at least those doors. I don't know about behind those. Now I'm at Monument Park on the west end of town, as the first marker was talking about, and this is a statue of, you got it, William Sherley Williams. Sculpture was by B.R. Petit, sorry. So there is a kind of a long description that talks about him, but Old Bill was born January 3rd, 1787 in North Carolina, died in 1849. He did a heap of living, most of it in the wilderness. In the late 1700s and early 1800s, the mountain men were trappers. They were on a quest for fine furs, and they were braving untamed Indians, grizzlies, and worse, the cold, relentless winters in this wilderness. So he was said to have spent the winter of 1832 in this area, or 33 too. In 1954, a group of Williams citizens formed the Bill Williams Mountain Men organization to perpetuate the lore, memory, and romance of the mountain men of old. In particular, Old Bill Williams, for whom a town, a mountain, and a river were named. There is also an Arizona Historical Society marker right here, but it talks about the mountain, which I'm assuming is just right up there. You know, the one with all the snow on it. Or is it that one? I don't know. But, alright, so Bill Williams Mountain. This mountain was named for a colorful mountaineer. guide and trapper who is generally credited with being the first American to explore northern Arizona, which is about 1830 or earlier. Williams lived at different times among the Osage and Ute Indians, and earlier had been a Baptist circuit rider in Missouri. Wow, okay. He was killed by Indians in 1849. Ooh. This was put up in 1962 by the Arizona Development Board, but it still counts as a Arizona Historical Society one because it's got that shape on it. All right, thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Historically Marked. So I just thought I'd take a look inside, you know, one of the most hyped Route 66 towns, and probably for the best reasons, because yes, there are endless businesses, restaurants, and yeah, drinking establishments, and a lot of antique shops too. A lot of places that sell Route 66 memorabilia, or I'm sorry, well, souvenirs if you collect certain things like I do. But all right, so I'm at Monument Park on the west part of Williams. I'm Jason, signing off.